sit down beside me and hear my sad case. For I have loved a soldier who has gone and deserted. He's gone and he's left me in shame and disgrace. Oh daughter, why did you not tell me? Why did you not tell me of it in time? For I would have bought salts and the pills of white mercury. You're a pure-hearted girl, but cut down in your prime. Oh doctor, come fill up your bottles. Come fill up your bottles and keep them quite dry. For my bones they are aching and my heart it is breaking. From the shame and disgrace I'm afraid I will die.
Hi everyone, it's Ed from Runnable, and this is my race review of the Asics Metaspeed Sky Tokyo. So in this review I'll be letting you know how this shoe performed over 5k in my local park run in Oak Hill Park. I'll be letting you know what I liked about the shoe, what I didn't like so much about the shoe, how it felt over that 5k distance, and whether I think this is one of the best 5k shoes out there on the marketplace. I'll be comparing it against some of its rivals like the Metaspeed Edge Tokyo, the Adidas Pro 4, the Metaspeed Ray, and the Puma Fast-R Nitro Elite 3. And by the end of the video you'll have some idea of how I think this ranks compared to all those shoes and all the other shoes on the marketplace. Watch a little bit of the race footage and then afterwards we'll do the complete full review of this shoe. So I'm here on this rather gloomy, has to be said, Saturday morning, ready to do the Oak Hill Park Run. I've got on my feet, yeah, the Sky Tokyos. I haven't raced much in these. I did the Etna Park Run, which I won in Italy, obviously in Sicily. So I'm hoping I can keep up my 100%. I'm hoping I can keep up my 100% record today with these. You know, maybe get another victory at Oak Hill, but it'll be tough. There's a young lad called Toby who's smashing this course to bits at the moment. He's beaten me a couple of times. So I'm more kind of interested on how the shoes do rather than actually winning. My legs still feel a bit out of it from you know, from New York, as you might expect, but we'll give it a best shot as I always do, and I'll give you a full review of the shoes, the Sky Tokyos, and a full review, and let you know whether I think they're suitable shoes for 5k. You know, it's good for me now the marathon's over. It's good, I can really do some of these 5-10k races, really have a go at them, you know, now without worrying about getting injured and that kind of thing. So it means the shoe reviews can be a bit more to the point, a bit more honest, because I'm running these races a bit more honestly. Anyway, rambling now. I better get to the race. See you later. Bye bye. Let's have it! So all done, got second. I think I've got around about 17:20 something. So back to form with a bang with 5Ks. You know, I've been up at the 17:40, 17:50s recently, mainly because of marathon training and I didn't want to push it. But today felt a bit more back to my more normal self, and the Sky Tokyos, the Asics Metaspeed Sky Tokyos, performed amazingly, I'll say again, amazingly well over that 5K. These suit the shorter distances even better. I think the Sky Paris for me felt good at that kind of half marathon kind of distance, whereas I think with the Sky Tokyos they're a bit more explosive. I find them more explosive than the Edge, for instance, Edge Tokyos, and I think they suit the 5K really well. So if you're looking for a good 5K shoe, one that's really nice and springy, when you land on your forefoot, I think they're better if you're a forefoot lander. You can get away with heel striking in this shoe as long as you transition quickly. But if you're landing on that forefoot, you really do engage that plate. And for me, it's one of those shoes that makes me want to lengthen my stride, makes me want to increase my cadence. Very lightweight, so any kind of hill, you kind of fly up the hill without feeling like you've got nothing. It feels like you've got nothing on your feet. So all in all, great shoe for these shorter distances. I should show you the shoes again. Yeah, did me proud today. I got second place. Toby beat me, I'm afraid, again, but only just today. And I was catching him at the end, and one of the marshals told him I was behind him. The swine. Come on, man. He's like 24 or 20 or whatever, and I'm 50 something. Do me a favor, don't tell him. Let me catch him, because he was struggling a bit. But obviously, as soon as he saw, you know, me behind him, he just sped off. And I went with him, but I couldn't quite catch him in the end. 3 seconds behind, which, to be honest, is given how well he's running, is respectable for me. So, very pleased today. Very pleased with the shoes. I'll do a full review back at the office or back in my kitchen, and I'll see you soon. Love you all. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe, and if you have, just keep commenting and keep supporting the channel, because I love you all. Bye bye. Okay, some key stats around this shoe. First and foremost, it's an extremely light shoe. It's 177 grams in my UK size 9. I went true to size. That was perfect for me. I've got a slightly wide foot, but even so, even though it's quite narrow, this nice mesh material is quite expandable to your foot shape, so that's good. Wraps really nicely around the top of your foot. There's enough volume there. The upper in general is pretty good, and we'll talk about that in a minute. In terms of stack height, you've got a 40mm stack height in the heel. You've got a 6mm drop, so you've got 34 in the forefoot. So it means you've got a really nice wedge of foam under your forefoot. So if you're like me, I'm Ed, by the way. I'm a forefoot striker. I'm about 63 kg, 64 kg, and I land around about here on the lateral side of the forefoot. So if you're like me and you land around this area here, you've got lots of cushion, which is really good. You've also got a high plate, so it's really good at engaging that plate. But again, we'll talk about that when we talk about the midsole. So all in all, extremely light and really nice cushion, which is quite a nice combination when you're talking about super shoes, right? So let's talk about the upper. Really nice mesh upper, got nice and breathable. It's not the widest in the forefoot area, but it's wide enough. I had no problems with fit, despite having quite a wide foot. This felt like decent enough room for me. Like I said earlier, the material kind of wraps around your foot, so it expands to your foot shape, which is nice. You've got these really good ridged laces, as you can see. Pretty much the best laces out there. You've got a non-gusseted tongue, which is a little bit fiddly, but once you get it in place, it's fine. There's no real pillow here, so when you cinch your the laces, just be careful you don't get some lace bite on the top of your foot. Mine was fine, but it would be possible, I guess, if you went too tight. You've got minimal padding in the collar here. You can see that horseshoe and the counter, but it's enough to keep your foot, nut and ankle, nice and locked in. I had no lockdown issues with this shoe whatsoever. All in all, great upper. I would say it's a 5 out of 5 upper, actually. There aren't too many better than this. I find it's kind of non-fussy, just works. And you could say that about this shoe in general. But for me, yeah, nice upper, lightweight, breathable, fits my foot nicely, and I had good lockdown. So, and it's got a semi-rigid heel counter, which is what I kind of like. I don't like it's too rigid, but then again, I like it to have some structure. Now the outsole, it looks very, very minimalist, the outsole. You've got a decent amount of rubber in the forefoot, but hardly anything down the heel and midfoot, and you've got all this exposed foam. That said, you get really good grip with this rubber, where you can see the rubber, get really good grip. And if you're landing around here, like I do, I actually land about here, where that gap is, you get a really nice grip in this shoe. It's just about wide enough to give you a nice landing area. I wouldn't want it any thinner than this, but it just about gets away with it. So all in all, I would say I'd score this about 4.5 out of 5. It's a really good grip. The only thing I'm marking it down for is all this exposed foam here. It does the job it's meant to be doing, which is to give you good grip. And I've used this in wet weather, dry weather. I haven't used it in icy weather yet, but I've got no reason to suggest this wouldn't be too bad. It seems to grip really well. And now the midsole here. So I said it before, this shoe's quite a simple design, and that's the same with the midsole. You've got this dual combination of foams. You've got the FF Leap, which is this foam you can see here at the bottom. So the vast majority of this foam is this aliphatic TPU FF Leap, which is softer, has more energy return. But above the plate line here, you've got the FF Turbo Plus that we had in the Sky Paris, which is Puma based. And together you get a really nice combination of foams. And the plate itself, because of this high configuration here, you get a really nice spring and snapback from the plate in this shoe. It's not got the most aggressive rocker. If you compare it with the Puma shoe's a lot more aggressive. Again, if you compare it with the Adidas Pro 4, look at the difference there. You can see it's quite considerable. This has got a later stage rocker, around about the 70%, as opposed to the Adidas shoe, as we saw there, that's got a much earlier stage rocker at 60%. So for those of you that like to start your transition on that rocker early, so when you land it feels a bit more curved, you're probably going to prefer the feeling of the midsole of the Adidas Pro 4. You probably even prefer the midsole of the Ray. You can see again it's an earlier stage rocker in the Ray. But what I would say, this feels a little bit flatter when you land, but it feels, because of that, feels a bit more stable. And you get that really nice compression, decompression, and like I said, that nice snapback from the plate. You don't get as much roll through as you do in those shoes that I've just mentioned, but you do get a really nice spring and a nice toe spring, which is far more than you do with most of those other shoes that I mentioned. More than the Puma shoe, for sure. A little bit more than the Adidas Pro 4, though the toe spring in this shoe is pretty good. More than the Ray, a bit more sinkage in this shoe. And a bit more than with the Edge, which has got that lower plate configuration. This is more springy. It's a little bit more energetic, I find, than the Edge, and something that I would use more for these shorter distances where I want to really hit the ground hard and have that really nice spring, that toe spring forward. So all in all, amazing midsole. Love this dual combination of the firmer Puma foam, the soft FF Leap, which gives that nice spring when you compress that plate underneath. You're compressing that foam and you get, like I said, that nice snap back. This gives you a little bit of vertical bounce. In terms of how stable this shoe is, given that it's not a wide landing base, I find it's pretty stable. During that 5K, I had no issues. It was muddy. There was a potential to slip quite a lot in that race. Didn't have any issues with this shoe. It allowed me to bound along. When I started to get a little bit fatigued, and during the second lap of that race, I just kind of hit cruise control in this shoe. Lengthened my stride a little bit, and it really likes you to lengthen your stride, the Sky Tokyo. And I started to get more of a spring and more of a bounce and more of a bound in this shoe. And that kept me going, and it started to increase my speed again, which then had the effect of wanting me to increase my cadence. And by the end, I started to really fly in this shoe, and I nearly caught the winner, Toby, the young lad. You know, you'll see in some of the pictures, who normally wins by quite a distance, but I was catching him at the end. So in the end, I got 17:22, which is my best 5K for quite a while. I mean, I haven't really been doing the fast courses since I did Battersea way back quite a few months ago now, where I got 16:40 something. I've pretty much been doing Oak Hill and a few of the slower courses since then. And I've been around about the 17:30, 17:40 mark. I'm now back in the low 17:20s. My PB for the course, Oak Hill Parkrun, is still 17:13, which was done in the Hoka Cielo X1 2.0. And I do actually think, in terms of raw speed, I do still think the Puma shoe plus the Hoka Cielo X1 2.0 are quickest shoes over that 5K distance. I just feel like I get a little bit more aggression out of this shoe. Also with the Hoka, I feel like I get a quicker roll through and a more aggressive, when I hit the floor in this shoe, I get a more aggressive launch forward than I do with the Sky. But this is a really nice, what I would describe as a kind of pitter-patter, where I get a nice spring, a nice toe spring, but it isn't that aggressive. It doesn't throw me forward like this shoe. So those of you that like to be a bit more in control when you run, I think you're definitely going to prefer the Sky Tokyo than you would the Puma Fast-R Nitro Elite 3. You may find something similar with the Adidas Pro 4. If I had to compare these two shoes, I would say I feel like there's a little bit more oomph in the Sky Tokyo than the Adidas Pro 4, but I'd say the longer you go, this starts to have more appeal for me. It's a little bit softer, this TPE, and it's a bit more forgiving. And again, you get a really nice toe spring, and I love that early stage rocker. And when I'm doing half marathons in this shoe, it feels really light, but also get that nice roll through. So I think potentially this is a Sky Tokyo is a quicker shoe, but I do quite like the feel of the Pro 4. And if you like softer shoes, you might prefer the Pro 4 than the Sky Tokyo. The Ray's even more soft. It's even more aggressive, but you do sink a little bit into this FF Leap foam. It's got half plate. So again, if you're a heel striker, the Sky Tokyo is going to work much better for you than the Ray Tokyo. If you're a heel striker, avoid this shoe altogether. I would say the Ray has got like a even narrower base than the Sky Tokyo. So again, if stability's you've got some stability needs, neither are great, but I think you're going to get a bit more stability with this shoe, the Sky Tokyo, than you would with the Ray. I would say they're all pretty bad in terms of stability. I'd say perhaps the Puma shoe with this massive spring pad in the forefoot, if you're a forefoot striker, is probably the more stable, but none of them, the ones I've mentioned, including the Sky Tokyo, have got much in the way of stability features. I think in terms of durability, I think they're all pretty much of a muchness. They're not going to be the most durable shoes, but they're not bad either. I found that even though during the Oak Hill Parkrun it's only 5k, there's absolutely no wear whatsoever in this shoe from that race. And I think generally it's going to take quite a few miles to start seeing this degrade a lot. So all in all, how did I think about this shoe over that 5k distance? I think this is actually probably one of the best 5k shoes out there. I just think there are some slightly speedier options if you like that rockered, aggressive ride like the Puma and like the Hoka Cielo X1 2.0. But if you like something that's a little bit more, what I would define as a bit more normal, a bit of a flatter, if you want someone who's a bounder, someone who likes to hit the ground hard and likes to get their spring and power that way rather than rolling through, I think you're going to really love this shoe. And I would highly recommend this shoe for anyone who's looking to do a 5k and wants something that's just going to be really nice on your foot and something that's going to spring you forward. So that's all I want to say today. Have a look, if you haven't watched the footage of the race, have a look. I didn't record the actual race itself, but I did do some recordings before and after, and I've just kind of mapped my route as well. Put in the comments if you like the Sky Tokyo. I absolutely love it. I haven't used it enough. I need to use it more. I will do a half marathon in this shoe when I get a chance. I'd like to see what it's like over those longer distances. I know a lot of reviewers like Nick from Run Testers absolutely loves this shoe. So does Kieran. They actually voted this shoe ahead of the Puma. I'm not sure about that for those longer distances. Certainly not for the short distances for me. I think the Puma is king, along with the Hoka Cielo X1 2.0. But I do feel like this is not far off that. And for longer distances, it might be a little bit more forgiving than the Puma, for instance. But we shall see. I need to do some more running in this shoe. As I do with the Edge, I much prefer, those that are thinking about these two shoes, I much prefer the Sky than the Edge this year. Hopefully that's been useful. Put your comments in and let me know what you think about these shoes. Hopefully comparing it with all those other shoes has given you a good idea about the Sky Tokyo and how it relates to the competition. Okay.